Well, hello. Welcome to our brief podcast. And I am Dr. Carol McGinnis, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to our special featured guest today. And that is the esteemed Carol Smith. Carol is a licensed marriage and family therapist and LMFT from Nashville, Tennessee. She's also an approved supervisor for AAMFT, and she also happens to be a spiritually integrated psychotherapy trainer. So, welcome, Carol.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here.
Wonderful. So, just want to start with some basics here to introduce the folks to who you are. When you think about the Psychotherapy Commission, we're going to have details on our website about that for people who are interested in what the Psychotherapy Commission is. But when you think about the Psychotherapy Commission, what is your role on that commission?
I am part of a subcommittee, so the commission is divided into small work groups. And I'm part of the subcommittee that tends to the SIP program, the SIP training program specifically. So I've been on this subcommittee this is the third year, and we have been in the process of formalizing just our policies and procedures on how this training is to be rolled out, what the guidelines are, so that from trainer to trainer, the same process is being followed.
Thank you. Yeah. And you and I work together, and it's been just a joy to do so. The folks watching or listening today, you're going to hear us talk about SIP, and SIP always refers to the Spiritually Integrated Psychotherapy program that we're talking about. So my next question is, what keeps you interested in the SIP program?
Wow, when I first heard about it, I thought I have so many friends and colleagues that are coming up through multiple license pathways to being a mental health practitioner that were interested in how to access ethically, appropriately, helpfully the client's spirituality in service of their healing. So it's been something that I've heard of in the mental health community, and it fits where I started my journey toward mental health 30 years ago with my Master's of Divinity degree that was focused on pastoral care and counseling, on care of souls. So this program is a hand in glove to make what I learned so many years ago available, accessible, understandable to people who don't necessarily have a seminary degree, but they still have interest in spiritually integrated psychotherapy. So to watch their light, the light come on in their eyes, to watch their excitement of, oh, that's how I can do that. Oh, wow, that is so neat on how we can help a client find their own spiritual resources and allow those to bring more life and energy, direction and hope to them.
I love how you put that. And the fact that it's hand in glove with your previous training, what a great opportunity there. And in line with that, my next question dovetails nicely with that. How would you say that spirituality plays a role in the work that you do as a licensed spiritually integrated psychotherapy practitioner?
Well, so I got hung up on something there, Carol. So I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm a certified spiritually
Yes. Thank
integrated
you. Thank you for
practitioner.
clarifying that. Yeah. Because
So,
it's a certification. Yeah.
right. It's a
Gotcha.
specialty certification. So how that helps me listen for and follow the client's spirituality is really just a deepening of the work that we do with the client, and a broadening. So it helps stay on a more holistic view of the client that doesn't have the client leave any part of themselves at the door. They don't need to leave their faith or their religious practice at the door. It can be part of their healing journey. And so for me, it's something I'm listening for in every session, whether either one of us, myself or the client, calls it religion or calls it spirituality or calls it faith. I'm
Mhm.
still listening for those tones of spiritual resonance within the client and working with that.
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
undergirds all the work that I do. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to not happen just because a client doesn't want to talk about official religion or official faith.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And here's my final question for you. The time we're spending together is going by so quickly. What else would you like to share about yourself? Would you be able to share some of your story?
Mm. I think I would appreciate sharing my story. I think sometimes we think that when we find a career path as a young adult, that our trajectory is just going to stay on that path and it's not going to have to veer or have curves or have valleys or hills. And so when I share my story, I let people know that yes, I felt an original calling, a sense of
Mhm.
purpose in moving toward helping people in the mental health field from a faith perspective. That was my original calling at age 16.
Oh, wow.
So I went to college with that in mind, thinking I'd get a major in religion, and I didn't know how else I would follow that calling.
Mhm.
As it turned out, I ended up with a major in psychology and a minor in religion,
Hmm.
finding the science of psychology exciting and a way of opening up even my understanding of humankind, which I think is reflected in scripture for me.
Mhm.
So in following that path, then I thought, well, how do I do this? I've been on a journey of how do I integrate spirituality, faith with the clinical practice ethically and effectively. So I've been on that journey since I was 22.
Mm.
I found pastoral psychotherapy and did a seminary degree in that, and then took some detours. So life happens. I began to have children. I wanted more time with my children, so we make choices based on what our values are, right?
Mhm.
And my value was to be there for my children. So I took a detour from pursuing the counseling training and worked in a church staff setting part-time for many years and then went full-time for the last 10 years. And after a while, that just was no longer the door that I needed to stay in. The angst of this isn't, there's more, that old song, um, I see the clouds. Is there more than the clouds? It's an
Mm.
old song. I'm dating myself with that song. I can't even think
We're
of the
all
name
going to
of
look that up now. Yeah.
it. um, that's kind of where I was. So I've learned to listen for God's voice within me
Mhm.
in the places of angst. And so when I tell people that story, that sometimes when you feel a discomfort or when you feel an angst, it may be a spiritual movement within you
Mm.
that something needs to shift.
Mm.
There's a change that's coming around the bend. Or you need to say no to some things so you can say yes to other things.
Mhm.
So that's actually what I did. I said no to church staff work, and I said yes to getting them another master's, a master's in marriage and family therapy, so I could be a licensed practitioner.
Mhm.
Um, and that's just kept opening the door of continuing to integrate who I am with the vocation I follow and the family that I live in. So,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that very rich story in such a short amount of time. Yeah. And with some, music reference that'll expand our repertoire. Carol, I know that others will also appreciate this, and thank you for your time. And for anyone that's watching or listening to this, you're welcome to check out our Psychotherapy Commission, check out our Spiritually Integrated Psychotherapy Certification, and there will be some links attached to this video. So thanks again.
no, you're welcome.